On this beautiful, beautiful Monday, November, and it's going to be 18 degrees. Life is crazy, or our planet is maybe happy. So let's start in a comfortable standing pose. We're going to arrive here. So feel your feet on the floor. Observe if there is any movement, any swaying in your body. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You're probably going to sway a little bit more if you close your eyes. Just observing. We don't want to question anything. We don't want to correct anything. We just want to be here now. And then gently scan your body from your heels up your legs, observing any sensations. Maybe you haven't moved too much today yet. You're a little bit stiff, or maybe on the contrary, you have done a lot already and you're longing for a little bit more rest. That's going to come at the end. So from your legs, move to your hips. And really observe into the hips. Are you holding a lot? And basically that's the job of the hips, is to hold you together in a way. But sometimes we put all the tension into our hips. So we'll work a little bit on that, on releasing tension in the hips. So we have to find a fine balance between tension and relaxation. Tension in a positive sense. And then slowly start to move up your belly and your chest to more the breathing. How are you breathing this morning? And most probably you just took a deep breath in as we focus on the breath, which seems to be a normal reaction. So do that. If you didn't do it, take a deep breath in and then exhale through the mouth, letting go. And then observe from your fingertips up to your wrists. Maybe you feel some sensation, some warmth in the center of your palm. Maybe you feel like your arms are heavy, blood rushing into your hands. Although we stand like that all day, we don't really pay attention too much to this. So just observing a pretty natural position. And up your arms, your shoulders. Again, the shoulders are big stress magnets. So just observing. And then bring your attention to your heart, whether it's your physical heart or your emotional heart. Take a deep breath in and bring in everything you need at this moment. So it's all around us and it's also within us. So bring it all in into your heart and then exhale. And then slowly going up your throat, your neck, your face. See if you can bring your attention to your face, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, eyelids, your ears, the skin on your face. As you observe, maybe you feel a slight tintling on your skin, your forehead. And as if you were passing your hands through your hair, so from your forehead back, bring the attention onto your skull, where the hair is or is not anymore. And then let's gently open our eyes. So today maybe put a focus on something. So do you want to focus on going to the end of every pose? Do you want to focus on maybe your breathing, staying connected with your breathing, or one step further, let the breath guide your practice? Maybe you don't want to focus on anything, and nothing is also something. So everything is fine. So we're going to separate the feet a little bit more so that they're hip distance apart, that we're standing a little bit more comfortable. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. So reaching out to the fingertips. Stretch yourself out, press your feet down, lift the kneecaps, bring the floating ribs in, reach your arms up, and then bring the shoulder blades down. So feeling that stretch. And then slightly start to turn the palms to the back. So the pinkies are facing each other, your shoulders are closing up, your chest is closing up a bit, your arms are still straight. And then slowly turn the palms back together, and then let the palms face forward and observe what happens with your armpits, your shoulders, and then turn the palms out. So we're probably not gonna reach the point where again the pinkies are facing each other, but feel here how your shoulder blades are getting together. So here we very gently working the deltoids that are holding the shoulder blades to the ribs and the spine. And then bring the palms back facing each other. Inhale, reach your arms up, and now press your feet down and see if you can create some length from your hips upwards. So maybe you feel a stretch in the lower back, maybe not. And turn the palms out and exhale. Separating the feet a little bit more. Find a stable stance. So you might have to adjust as we do the movement. So we're gonna inhale up, exhale. 3 times. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And then the third exhale, bend your knees and fall forward and let your arms just dangle. So let's do this 5 times. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. You can exhale through your mouth. Coming back up with an inhale. 2 more times. So make that breath noisy, loud, energetic. And last time. And let's stay there. Grabbing the opposite elbows, bringing a little bit more weight into your upper body by just relaxing, letting the head drop. Knees are bent, so no sensations in the lower back here. Bend your knees more if need be. Inhale. Drop your hands, they probably touch the floor, and just start to say yes, no, with your head, maybe making little circles, leaving the neck very loose. And then just swaying from one foot to the other. So very gently, don't go too far. Your feet are solidly planted onto the floor, so your knees are in between your hips. We're just swaying from side to side. And then bend your knees a little bit more. Separate your feet also a little bit more. Press your hands down and lengthen your spine. So we're wide-legged, chair here, working, warming the quadriceps. And then slowly start to press your hands down, lengthen the legs. And maybe you need to put your hands on a block. If you don't have a block, just rest your hands somewhere onto your legs. Again, no sensations in the lower back. Inhale, exhale, release. And then gently bend your knees. Place your hands onto your hips, lengthen your spine, and press yourself up. So we always want to bend, fold forward and fold up from your hip crease to protect the lower back. You don't want to be pulling onto that lower back. There's a lot of work with the core here. So come to the front of the mat, bring your hands onto your hips, take a step back. So you're gonna place your feet for a warrior two. So the back foot is to the long side, the front foot to the short side, and then bend your knee. Press the outside of your back foot into the floor. So bend your knee and then press back up. We're only gonna work with the front leg. So the back leg is gonna just follow. Bend, press. So lots of work into the front foot, into the front thigh. And then you can extend your arms as well, as we're gonna do this 2 more times. And then bend the knee. Find your warrior two. Inhale, exhale, maybe go a little bit deeper. And then bend your front elbow. So the left elbow, reach your arms, your right arm up. To start, we're just gonna reach up and then turn the palm towards the wall or towards your head and then reach over. So your biceps and your ear are almost touching. And then maybe bend your knee a little bit more. So be careful not to sink into your lower shoulder, reaching out, feeling that stretch. And now we're gonna press our hand a little bit more down. We're gonna open the right side even more by creating a bend into our upper body, into our right body. So going down, and then reach your arm back, coming back into your warrior two. Hands onto your hips, turn the left foot to the front, right foot towards the short side. So again, the back leg is just gonna follow the movement, but it needs to be strong. So press your foot, especially the outside of your foot, into the floor. Now you wanna be careful that you don't press too much so that you feel something in your knee. So it's really, again, finding that edge where what is too far and what is not, I wouldn't say not far enough, but no sensations. So hands onto the hips, bend your front knee, press into your foot, feel the whole leg getting active. Exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more times. And then exhale, warrior two, open the arms. So find that warrior, the legs are already solid now. And then bend your right elbow, reach your right arm up. So finding that opening in your chest, and then you're gonna reach over. And then go a little bit further. So pressing your hand down to the earth without falling forward. So you don't wanna go and touch the floor here. We just wanna feel in our body the opening on the left side. And then slowly coming back up with control, both feet to the front. Hands onto the hips, lower them onto the hip crease, and then start to fold forward with a straight back. So no need to go too deep. We want to keep the spine long. Press your hands onto your thighs. So the thumbs can face backwards, but press the palm of your hands onto your thigh as if you wanted to separate your thighs from your upper body. So press it back, roll the shoulders back. Maybe you can go a little bit lower. So you're feeling it in the back of the legs. Watch out with those big muscles. We don't want to go too far. Again, we want to find the edge. And then release your hands. Bring the feet a little bit closer to each other. So if you need to walk your hands more forward, that's fine. So bring the feet wider than your hips. Your hands are flat on the floor, so hopefully you won't be slipping on your floor. And then from here, press into your hands and come into a wide-legged downward dog. So very different sensation than your downward dog. Adjust your stand if you need to. Maybe your heels are easily touching the floor now. Keeping the legs straight. Toes are slightly pointing in. Inhale, exhale, finding that length into your spine. And then slowly walking the hands closer, bring the feet closer, and come onto your knees. So we're on our knees, hands on the hips, and bring the right foot to the side. So the toes and the knee are in line, the toes are pointing forward. I wouldn't point the toes to the side because then you're gonna twist. So we wanna stay with the hips facing forward. So inhale, reach the left arm up, the right leg is out, and then go over. So much more difficult because we already compressed into our right hip, right waist. So we won't be able to go that far. You can bring your right hand onto your right leg if you want to. Keep on breathing, keep on creating space with your inhale and relaxation with your exhale. And then slowly coming back, this time bringing the left hand onto the floor. So you want to make sure that your wrist and your shoulders are at the same height. And then lifting your right leg and your right arm. Press your hips forward. So it's a side plank. So you don't want to push your hips back. You want to push your hips forward and then lift up that leg. Flex your foot. Reach to the fingertips. Make sure you don't collapse into your supporting shoulders, supporting arm. And then slowly bend the right knee and bring both knees together. Same thing on the other side. So stretch your left leg out. Toes are pointing forward. Press your hips forward. Reach your right arm up. Lengthen. So length is really the secret of bending. And then start to slowly go over towards the left. So fine, it's not just hanging in the pose, it's really very active. It might look static, but it's really very active. So lengthening with every inhale, you can glide your left hand down. And then slowly bring the right hand on the floor, align the wrist and the shoulder, and then lift your left leg. Flex your foot, press your heels forward, press your hips forward, and then you can reach your left arm up. So if this is too much for your wrist, you can come onto your fingertips or even on the forearm. So your whole body is working here. Everything is holding everything together. And then slowly bend the left knee and coming back. Take a breath here. Tuck your toes. Make sure the little toe comes with you and then sit onto your heels. So we're just gonna stretch the fascia on the sole of our feet here. So if you want, you can massage gently. Maybe if you find one of the pressure points that's used in reflexology, some places might hurt, so they mean something. We're not gonna get into that, but it's an amazing science how all these lines are connected within our body. And then release. Place the hands down, gently tap your feet. And then we're gonna sit into a child's pose. Bring your hands around your heels. So your thumbs are facing out, your fingers are facing in. And then bend your neck. So bring the chin towards the chest. Bring your head down on the floor. So the voice is changing a bit here. And then as you inhale, start to lift your hips up. Hold onto your heels to really feel the stretch in your arms, in your back. The spine is rounded here. The shoulders are dropping forward, but everything's getting stretched. And then slowly coming back, and slowly again coming up. Come and sit. So we're gonna do a twist here. We haven't twisted. So you can bend your left knee and bring the right knee, the right foot over if that's accessible for you. So if you're like flying high with your right bum, I suggest that you lengthen out your left leg. Otherwise, you can be here in this position and just arrive here for a moment. Maybe you already feel a stretch in your right bum. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then reach the right arm up. So creating that length again. And then as you exhale, twist to the back, place your hand onto the floor. Now, before we go any further, make sure that your right shoulder is rolled back, that your shoulder blade fits really deeply onto your spine, onto your ribs. So the right shoulder will stay down. And then inhale, reach the left arm up. Again, creating space, bend your elbow and place it on the outside of your right knee. And then inhale, lengthen, exhale. So if placing the elbow around the knee is not accessible, hug your knee just like this and make sure that it helps with the rotation. Two more breaths here. And then slowly coming back. Placing the hands down, lifting your legs and change side. So bending or stretching out the right leg. Bring the left foot over, finding a solid ground. So you should really be sitting on the floor with your two bum cheeks. The left foot is flat onto the floor. So for a moment, arrive here, observe. You might observe differences one side to the other. And then reach your left arm up. Take a deep breath in, lengthen, and then rotate and bring the hand back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Watch out with that shoulder, the shoulder blade. Inhale, lift your right arm up and place it on the outside. So again, if you don't reach that, just hug. One side can be different than the other. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly coming back to center and release. So separating the feet, bring the hands in the back. Don't fall into your spine, so roll the shoulders back, activate the whole upper body. Separate your feet enough that if you bend the knees to one side, if you drop the knees to one side, that the left knee comes behind the right heel. So we're gonna just flop from one side to the other, letting the spine move with it, letting the chest open up, so keeping the shoulders back, so don't move your shoulders with it, keeping the chest nice and open. And then coming back to center, placing the soles of the feet together. Keep your hands in the back for now. So you want to find that stability. You don't want to feel any pain into the knees. So if you feel sensations into the knees, play a little bit with where your feet are. So make your diamond a little bit bigger or smaller, and then press your fingertips into the floor and roll the shoulders back. Take a breath in here. And then bring your hands forward, grab your ankles, and hold onto your ankles to again create that long spine. Inhale, and then start to fold forward from the hip crease, bending the elbows. Watch out that you don't press the pointy part of your elbow into your knee. It's all cartilage, so fragile. So pressing down, moving forward. and observe what happens in your lower back. So here you might feel something into your lower back. See if you can lengthen your spine, open your chest a little bit more. You're probably going to come up a little bit and then move forward. So if we don't pay attention, we will pull onto our legs with our hands and only round in the lower back, which is way too much of a stretch in the lower back. The back needs to be strong, healthy. Exhale, and now start to round, drop your head down. Continue to press into your legs. And here we're really gonna send that message to the hips that it's okay to release. So if you would sit here for quite a while, you would notice that your hips are releasing and releasing. And then slowly coming back up with your body. Place your hands on the outside of your knees, and with your hands, you're gonna bring the knees together. So don't use any muscles on the inside of your legs. We just stretch them. And then straighten your spine for a moment. Stretch out your legs, open them wide. So you don't want to go into a split here. That's not what we're doing. Make sure you're sitting straight onto your sitting bones. So if you're falling back, sit onto something, on the edge of something. Your toes are pointing up, your kneecaps are pointing up, your spine is long. If you're falling back, you can place your fingertips in the back, roll the shoulders back, finding length, maybe even find some relaxation in your core here as you're pressing with your fingers down. Otherwise, you can bring your hands to the front. Again, think hip crease, walking the hands forward. Inhale, exhale. Big stretch on the inside of our legs, so connected to the hips always. So again, find that edge. Don't go too far into those stretches, but don't back off too early. Find the balance. And then when you reach the edge, stay there for a couple of breaths. And then slowly coming down. My spine is still straight. My neck is in line with my spine. And you're maybe still very, very high, and that's okay. Just remember that it's not only muscles that are going to bring us where we want to be, or we think we want to be. The way our skeleton is built will be the primary indication of how we can move. And there's not a lot we can do about the skeleton. So knowing your body, knowing your edge, exploring is important. And then if you want, you can drop your head, start to round your spine a little bit. Taking a few breaths, relaxing here. And then walk your hands back up. Bring the legs together and shake them out. So we're gonna go into plow pose. So if for you that's not accessible, or you don't want to go that far, especially if you have neck issues, I would be very careful. Like, I don't want to frighten you, just be aware. You never ever want to move your head when you're going back or when you're going into shoulder stand or headstand. It seems logic, but people do. So just find where is your limit again with your legs. So place your hands next to your hips and very slowly roll your spine down. Bend your knees and then press your hands down into the mat and then bring your legs over. So maybe your legs are not here. Maybe you're just a little bit higher. Just be very aware of what you're doing here. If you want to go further, maybe eventually your toes are going to touch the floor. If that's the case, then you can bring your arms back, place your toes into your hands, and stretch out. So again, don't move your head here. You're resting. Big stretch for the spinal muscles, which are going to help us with a forward fold that we're going to do in a minute. So continue to breathe here. So the alternative here would be keeping the hands there, bending the knees. Find what works for you. And then if your hands are over your head, bring them back on the floor. Those are going to be your breaks. So place your hands down very, very slowly. Unroll your spine. Unroll your legs all the way down. Press into your elbows. Come into a seated position. Lift your arms up. So finding that length in the spine, we just round it and then fold forward. Maybe you're going to touch your toes. If not, just grab wherever you can and lengthen the spine. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly place your hands onto the floor and walk back. And again, release. Bring your knees to one side, turn around and come onto hands and knees. So maybe what you need now is a child's pose. We're going to do cat and cow just to release a little bit in the spine. Maybe before that, you want to just move a little bit, like really connect with your body. What do I need now? And maybe there's a spot that you want to stretch. You don't really know how to reach it. Maybe it's reoccurring. So take the time to find a way to, through the breath, through the movement, to reach that spot and release it. So let's do 5 times cat and cow at the rhythm of your breath. So inhaling, lifting tailbone, dropping the belly, your spine, one vertebra at a time is coming in this beautiful curve. And then exhale, tailbone down, belly button up, rounding, rounding, chin to chest. And inhaling. Really going at your own rhythm, the rhythm of your breath. And then neutral spine. Let's tuck the toes. Walk your hands a little bit more to the front and come into your downward dog. So stretching out the spine here. Maybe dancing a little bit. Again, do what you need to do. And then start to walk your dog. Make sure the upper body remains very neutral, but it's very active. It's holding you there. And then bend your knees, lift your hips up. Feel the core getting very active here. Open the shoulders, so roll the shoulders outwards. And exhale, the heels are with intention going to the floor. So if your lower back is rounding, keep your knees bent. Inhale, exhale. Let's lift the right leg up, bend the right knee and open the hips. Equal weighting to both your arms. Press your left heel down, opening up. You can do a little circles with your ankle if you want to, but keep that hip open. And then bring it down. Bring the right foot down. And then lift the left leg up, open the hip, bend your knee, open the hip, press into your hands. Long breaths here. And bring it down. Again, lift the right leg up. And this time bring the right foot between your hands and let's come up. So if you need more stability, come onto your knee. Otherwise, press your heel back. Come a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale. And then reach your chest forward. Place the left hand down, reach your right arm forward and start to lift it until you feel that you're in one line with from your back heel till your fingertips. So don't sink into your hips too much. We want to hold it here, reaching the right arm forward, the left heel back. Pressing the right foot down, and then slowly start to reach that right arm up, turning the palm outside and finding a twist and reach the arm back. So not just the shoulder, the whole chest is gonna open up. Keep that right knee pointing towards the right toes, the back heel straight back, long upper body. And then slowly coming back, placing both hands down and coming back into your downward dog. Walking a little bit. Lifting your left leg up and bring the left foot in between the hands and come up, finding that stretch, that opening in the groin area. Inhale, exhale. So pressing the heel back. And then coming forward, bring the right hand down, the left arm forward, lift it up until you feel that you're like in one arrow, pressing the heel back, reaching the fingers forward. And then as you inhale, opening up towards the left, turning the palm out. And then release. And coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Let's lift the right leg up. Bend the right knee going into pigeon. So right knee behind the right wrist. Lengthen the back leg. Really long, long, long back leg. Open your chest for a moment. So your hands are down on the floor. Roll the shoulders back. Lift your chest up and open it up. Allow yourself to sink. So it's not coming up into your hips. It's sinking into the hips here. Maybe walking that back leg back a little bit more, opening up. And then walking your hands forward. So you can, if you're far away from the floor, I would suggest you bend your elbows and you rest onto your forearms. Otherwise, reach your arms forward. Forehead comes onto the floor, onto your arms. And now start to relax. So no effort in this pose. You could stay here for many, many minutes, opening your hips. Again, finding release into the hips by letting go. We don't ask anything from the hips now. We just want to relax, open up, release. Stay here for 5 more breaths. And then slowly bring the hands under the shoulders. Press yourself up, tuck your back toe, and come into downward facing dog. Do what you need to do, dance, walk. And then when you're ready, lift your left leg up, bend your left knee and bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Glide your back leg back, untuck your toes, and come onto the fingertips, opening up the front of our body. So imagine your vertebrae smiling. Sink a little bit deeper into your hips, and then start to walk your hands forward. Exhaling. Total of 10 breaths here, or more, or less. And then after your 10 breaths, again, walk your hands back, press into your hands, tuck your back toes, and come into your downward dog. So we want to equally stretch between both sides. And let's inhale and come into a plank. Turn the eye of the elbows to the front and gently come all the way down to the floor. Stretch out your left arm as a half T, so your palm is facing down. Your right hand is still under your right shoulder. And start to press into your right hand and roll onto your left side. So opening that shoulder, you can bring your head down. That's okay. If it's too low, take a block or something, place your head on that. Continue to gently press with your right hand down. You don't want to suddenly fall onto your back here by rolling too far. So there is an exploration of the stretch in your shoulders and a daring of letting go a little bit. If you think you're going to fall over and it's stressing all the muscles in your body, you can bend your right knee and just put your foot down and then go a little bit further, maybe to open that shoulder. And then slowly coming back to center, stretch out your right arm, rolling over. So I'm a bit more careful, I have the mic on this side. So walk your hand back. And again, if you need that extra support, bend your upper leg, place your foot in the back, and stretch. And then this time, rolling back onto your belly, placing your left hand on your left ear and come onto your left side. So here, if you need more stability, your leg that's on the floor, you're gonna bend it, but you're gonna keep your knees together. And then you're gonna bend your right knee, so the upper leg, and start to make gentle circles with your hip. So find the rotation, find the space into your hip. See if you can really imagine your femur, like the ball of your femur. It's really like a ball fitting into your hip socket, and that you want to touch all the place. You want to really explore this whole space and find the best fit. And then lengthen out your right leg. Keep your hips perpendicular to the floor. Flex your right foot, and then start to lift your right leg up. Straight leg, push the heel away, and then bring it back down. So here you will work on the hip flexors. One more time. And then bend your knee, Grab your foot or your pants, press your hips forward, the knees are on top of each other. Open your right shoulder and open the quadriceps on the right. So your heel might be touching your bum. Keep on opening, opening, opening. And then release. And let's turn to the other side. So roll over onto your right side. You can place your hands under your head so that you're a little bit more elevated, or you can be just straight. So both legs can be straight, or if you need more balance, bend your right leg. Keep your left hand on the floor. And then bend your knee and start to make those circles with the hips. So you want to be quite stable here. If you're not stable, you're going to tense some muscles that might not give you the whole range in this movement. Don't forget to change direction, really exploring all the nooks and crooks. And then coming back to center, lengthen your left leg and start to lift and down 3 times. And then stretch it out again. Bend your left knee, grab your foot, your ankle, your pants. Bring the knees together and press your hips forward, your heel touching the bum, maybe. And then release, and this time let's roll onto our backs. Placing the feet as wide as your mat, bending the knees, and then just moving gently from side to side. You can open your arms, just windshield wiping your legs, and then coming back to center. Bring the knees and the hips as wide, the knees and the feet as wide as your hips. Lift your right leg and pass it over your left, as if you were sitting in a chair. Bring your left foot a little bit more to the center, a little bit closer to your body. Lift your hips up, and we're gonna place the hips almost to the right. And then start to slowly drop your legs towards the right. Keeping the shoulders on the floor, the chest is open. 2 more breaths here. And then coming back up, keep everything where it is. And now drop your knees over to the left and observe the differences, most probably in the rotation in the spine, maybe also your shoulders. Maybe you're not so relaxed anymore in the chest. Maybe you are more relaxed. Everybody's so different. There's never a right way or a wrong way. Continue to be curious. And then coming back to center. Press into your left foot, bring your hips back to center, undo your legs. And then lift your left leg, pass it over your right. Bring the right foot more to the center, lift your hips and bring the hips over to the left. And drop your knees towards the left. So the weight of your left leg on your right is going to really press that right leg a little bit more down. Might give a great sensation on the right side in your hip. And then slowly coming up, don't move anything, but drop your knees towards the right. And then slowly coming back up, undo your legs. Press your feet down. Realign your hips and your feet, your knees, your head, your shoulders. And then bring the knees into the chest, make a little ball. Lift your head, lift your shoulders. Really make a little ball here. And then release your right arm, your left arm, and stretch out your left leg so your foot is flexed. Point it to the left corner. My head and my shoulders are still lifted. And then bring the leg down. Same thing, bring the right arm down, press your right foot away from you, lengthen out your leg towards the right corner and bring it down. Bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers, pull the skin of your skull away from you. So lengthening the neck and then bring your head down. If you feel your shoulders are popping up too much, lift a little bit, wiggle them underneath, and then bring your palms up, release your feet out, and ready for Shavasana. So inhale, exhale, letting go. Observe your body again like we did in the beginning. If there is any tension anywhere, see if you can letting go now, releasing. It might be tension build up through the practice or still tension from before, or maybe tension building up for what's next. So come back to this very moment. You have nothing else to do but to lay down, relax, and letting go. I know it's easier said than done, but let's explore if we can do this. And I'm not going to guide you to getting out. So I want you to really, very consciously make your way to a seated position. No rush. Take your time and stay conscious. So don't go on autopilot, what we always do, but just explore your own body. See what feels good, what you need to stretch or not. Maybe you just need to continue to lay down here for a little longer, and that's fine. And once you made it in a comfortable seated position, gently tuck your chin. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste.